Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tea and Talk English Podcasts. This is the podcast where you can practice listening and learn real English through fun, simple conversations. I'm your host, Mark.
And I'm Jessica. Today we're going to talk about something we all do. Every day, our daily routines. What do you do in the morning? How do you spend your day? What time do you go to bed? We'll talk about all of that and more.
So, grab your tea, coffee, or maybe your breakfast, and let's start our day together. All right, Jessica, let's start with you. What's your usual day like?
Well, my day starts early. I usually wake up at 6:30 a.m. The first thing I do is make a cup of tea. I can't start my day without it. Then I take a shower, get dressed, and have breakfast. Usually toast and fruit.
That sounds very British, and tea first. For me, I usually wake up around 7 a.m. I drink a big glass of water, then I go for a short walk or do some stretching. After that, I make coffee and check my emails before breakfast.
Oh, that's nice. You sound very organized in the morning. Do you work from home or go to an office?
I usually work from home. I start work around 9 a.m. and I teach English online. During the day, I take a short break for lunch, maybe around 1 p.m. Then I continue working until about 5 or 6 p.m. What about you, Jessica?
Well, I go to the language school where I teach. I take the bus to work, and my classes start at 9:30 a.m. I usually teach until 4 p.m., and then I go home, make dinner, and relax.
Sounds like a good balance. What do you usually do in the evening?
Hmm. In the evening, I like to watch TV, sometimes a short show or the news. Then I read a book for a little while before bed. I usually go to bed around 10:30.
Very nice. For me, I usually cook dinner, sometimes call a friend, and then watch something or listen to a podcast. I try to go to bed by 11.
That's a healthy routine. So, listeners, what about you? Think about your own day. What do you do in the morning, afternoon, and evening?
Daily routines. They seem mundane, but what if they're actually the secret code that unlocks peak human performance? Research shows that 92% of highly successful people follow strict morning rituals.
That's fascinating. And it really makes you wonder about the science behind why routines have such a powerful impact on our success.
Well, I've been diving deep into this topic, and what's really interesting is how morning routines specifically can set off a cascade of positive effects throughout the entire day. Studies show that people who maintain consistent morning routines have 23% higher productivity levels.
Hmm. Tell me more about these productivity gains. How exactly does that work?
So here's what's fascinating, it's all about decision fatigue. When you automate your morning routine, you're actually preserving your brain's decision making energy for more important tasks. Research from the Journal of Psychological Science shows we make about 35,000 decisions each day.
Oh, wow, that's exactly why having a routine matters so much. You're basically creating a mental autopilot for the simple stuff.
Right. And speaking of autopilot, I recently learned about this graphic designer in Toronto who has mastered the art of the morning routine. He starts at 6 a.m. sharp. And what's really interesting is how he structures those first crucial hours.
Well, that's certainly earlier than most people. What makes his routine so special?
You know what's fascinating? He intentionally builds in what psychologists call quiet time, those precious morning moments before the world gets noisy. He starts with strong coffee, then alternates between reading news and running, which research shows can improve cognitive function by up to 15%.
That combination of mental and physical stimulation first thing in the morning seems really powerful.
Exactly, and here's where it gets even more interesting. He's actually part of a growing trend. Studies show that 50% of successful executives wake up by 6:30 a.m. and 90% of them have some form of morning exercise routine.
So, what you're saying is there's this clear correlation between early rising and achievement?
Well, it's not just about waking up early, it's about what you do with that time. Like this designer, he follows his morning routine with a structured workday, arriving at his office by 8:30 a.m. But here's the key. He maintains clear boundaries between work and personal time.
That balance seems crucial. How does he manage the transition from work to personal time?
Now, this is where things get really interesting. He's developed what psychologists call a shutdown ritual. After work, he deliberately engages in creative activities like playing guitar or cooking, which research shows can reduce stress levels by up to 30%.
That's such a smart approach to creating mental separation between work and home life.
And you know what's particularly fascinating? This pattern of having distinct morning, work, and evening routines isn't just a modern phenomenon. Historical figures like Benjamin Franklin and Ernest Hemingway were famous for their strict daily routines.
Well, that certainly puts things in perspective. These patterns of success have been around for centuries.
Exactly, and modern research is now validating what these historical figures seem to know intuitively. A study from Harvard Business Review found that people with consistent daily routines report 65% higher levels of life satisfaction.
That's remarkable. It really shows how something as simple as a routine can have such profound effects on our well being. Let's go over some useful words from our conversation.
Good idea. First, wake up. It means to stop sleeping. Example, I wake up at 7 o'clock.
Next, get dressed. That means to put on your clothes. Example, I get dressed before breakfast.
Another one, have breakfast. That means to eat in the morning. Example, I have breakfast with my family.
And go to work or go to school. Example, I go to work by bus.
Finally, is that go to bed. That means to lie down to sleep. Example, I go to bed at 10 o'clock. Mundane. It means ordinary, common, or not very exciting. For example, doing the dishes feels mundane, but it's part of daily life.
And that connects to our next phrase, peak performance. This means performing at your best possible level. Example, athletes train every day to reach their peak performance.
Nice one. So, routines can help us reach our peak performance by making us consistent.
Now, here's a really useful one, decision fatigue. Mark, what does that mean?
Decision fatigue happens when your brain gets tired after making too many decisions. For example, after a long day of choices, you might feel decision fatigue and struggle to decide what to eat for dinner.
Yes, I've been there. And that's why having a routine is so helpful. It reduces decision fatigue.
That connects to our next word, autopilot. When we say someone is on autopilot, it means they do things automatically without thinking too much. Example, I can make my morning coffee on autopilot. I've done it 1,000 times.
Right. Routines help us create a kind of mental autopilot for simple tasks, so we can save energy for bigger challenges. Another great phrase is quiet time. That's the calm period when you can think, reflect, or plan, usually without noise or distractions. Example, I like to spend quiet time reading before work.
And during that time, you might improve your cognitive function, which means your brain's ability to think, remember, and focus. Example, exercise and good sleep can improve cognitive function.
That's a really useful academic term. You'll often hear it in psychology or health research.
Let's look at another key word, correlation. It means a connection or relationship between two things. For example, there's a strong correlation between exercise and happiness.
Right. But remember, correlation doesn't always mean cause. Just because two things happen together doesn't mean one causes the other.
Good point. Another important word is boundaries, limits between parts of your life. Example, it's important to set boundaries between work and home time.
Yes, and when you finish work, you can use something called a shutdown ritual, a small routine that tells your brain it's time to relax. Example, I end my workday with a short walk. That's my shutdown ritual.
That's a lovely phrase. I like the idea of teaching your brain to turn off work mode.
Here's another interesting one. Validate. It means to confirm that something is true or supported by evidence. Example, modern research validates the benefits of daily routines.
Exactly. And that research also connects to well-being, the state of being happy, healthy, and comfortable. Example, regular exercise can improve your well-being.
And one more beautiful word, intuitively. It means doing something by instinct without thinking too much. Example, she intuitively knows when to take a break.
All right, let's review our vocabulary from today. Mundane, peak performance, decision fatigue, autopilot, quiet time, cognitive function, correlation, boundaries, shutdown ritual, well-being, validate, intuitively.
That's a great list. To practice, try writing 3 sentences using any of these words. You can share them in the comments or just say them out loud. Remember, learning vocabulary isn't just about meaning. It's about understanding how and when to use each word in real life.
Exactly. Thank you for listening, and we hope this helps you build your English routine. We'll see you next time on Tea and Talk English. Until then, stay curious, stay consistent, and keep learning.
Morning sunlight filters through the blinds. We settle in, hearts and curious minds. Porcelain mugs cradle words we share. Stories steeping in the rising air. Tea and talk where our worlds collide. Sip by sip we take the ride. Pour your thoughts into this space. Every voice finds its place. We wander through the highs and lows, unravel tales in quiet flows. Between the sips and whispered lines, we find our truths in steady times. Ooh, every pause is room to breathe. Confessions tucked in every leaf. A cup of warmth can heal a heart. Together here we're never apart. So join the circle, pull up a chair. Tea and talk will meet you there.